What's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Booty Floss, and thanks for clicking on the video. Today's video is going to be about beginner operators, or the operators who are best for beginner players in Rainbow Six Siege based on my opinion. Now, I got into talking with a couple friends while gaming on Rainbow Six the other day, and they're newer to the game and were wondering, well, hey, Mr. Booty Floss, how can I improve my game? I'm having trouble picking an operator, finding out who to purchase, finding out how to play these operators, and I said, maybe I can make a video about this. So we got into that a little bit further, and let's see if I can help you guys with some tips and tricks, and let's understand the operators that I recommend and operators who I still to this day play because of their overall versatility. So let's take a look. You guys can find me on twitch.tv/MrBootyFloss if after this video you have any suggestions, unanswered questions, or just want to talk with the community or just get to know me a little bit better. We'd love to have you be part of the community and stop by. I'll leave a link for that in the description below. But again, thanks for clicking on the video, and let's jump right to it. So first on our list is Sledge, and he's essentially my go-to operator for attack. He's just so well-rounded and fits into any team meta. He is also incredibly cheap to purchase for new or beginning players because he comes with the standard version of the game. His special ability just gives him a ton of mobility, as the ability to run through walls that are normally blocked off to other types of players. But his special ability also just makes a ton of fun and adds another dimension to the game of play, which I really enjoy. Now let's take a little bit of a closer look at Sledge, his loadout, his abilities, and really how you can use him to the best of your ability as a beginning player. So to start off with Sledge's weapons, Sledge has the option of using the L85A2 assault rifle, which is my personal favorite because it gives you a little bit of longer range, and you have the ACOG scope or holographic based on personal preference. He also has the M59O A1 shotgun in his primary weapon slots. My personal favorite is, as I said, the L85A2, as it offers high damage at a good distance. Most people recommend the ACOG sight for attackers, as this is a huge advantage over the other defender ops who don't have ACOGs, but the holographic is also a great choice when you're playing in the enemy's face. Sledge is also only one of 3 or 4 operators who has frag grenades, which are an amazing lethal tool that can offer a ton of utility when destroying things from a distance, flushing enemies out of a corner, or just dropping bombs on unsuspecting enemies after breaking the floor above their heads. Let's not forget Sledge's special ability, and his special ability is, well, a sledgehammer. And man, this thing's pretty great. It allows maximum self-destruction at the click of a button, whether that be walls, hatches, the floors above unsuspecting enemies' heads, and well, who doesn't love a good surprise attack? Now, Sledge's breaching hammer doesn't only stop at walls and hatches and soft things in the map. He can also destroy many bulletproof gadgets. He can destroy barbed wire, deployable shields, castles, armor panels, and bulletproof cameras, as well as Maestro's Evil Eye, which is really a direct counter. You can also use Sledge's hammer as an instant one-shot kill on enemies if you are to surprise them and come up behind them and hit them with a hammer. However, you won't see any footage of that in here because, well, I haven't gotten that lucky. When you're playing Sledge and hitting the floors from above or breaking the walls, you're not only increasing your mobility and adding new lines of sight for the enemy and putting pressure on the enemy team, you're also forcing them to rotate potentially into other teammates that can kill them easier or have a better line of sight on them. This not only adds a level of pressure on the enemy team that they weren't expecting, but it also allows you to up your mobility, which I think is something that's really a hidden gem for Sledge. Well, now that we have our attack operator behind us, Sledge, I'm going to dig into our defensive pick here, and that's going to be Mute. He is ultimately my absolute favorite operator of all time, and I just feel like I play better on defense, especially when I was a newer player. I considered Mute to be a defensive sort of mastermind because he's just very well-rounded, very versatile, and his role to any team is essentially unparalleled. So let's dig a little bit further into Mute and what he's got going for us, and let's go from there. The role of Mute is to jam and destroy enemy electronics and even their special abilities. Mute shines when mitigating hard breachers such as Thatcher and Hibana by jamming the electronic signal from their devices as they try to breach through reinforced walls. The jammer can also cover 2 reinforced walls at a time when placed in the middle of 2 reinforced walls. His jammer also destroys drones that come within range, making it difficult for the enemy team to gain information in that area and forcing them to walk in blind most times. All of this is to your team's advantage. To dig into Mute's loadout a little bit, he has C4 as one of his lethals, and I personally find it the best because it allows you to give the other team the middle finger every once in a while, which is always nice. As far as Mute's weapons, he comes with the MP5K, which is my personal preference and highly recommended for beginner players, as it's just a headshot machine in my opinion. It does come with a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, you can really start popping heads. His other primary is the M590A1 shotgun, which much like Sledge is a closer running gun, but since Mute is a defensive player, you'll find that you'll hunker down and use more of a turtle strategy with the shotgun by muting out the room and not allowing the enemy team to get any information, and then just shooting them with the shotgun to finish the day off. As far as secondaries go, I would recommend the SMG-11 for Mute and for Sledge as well, as is a great close range option in the heat of the moment. We've mentioned a defense operator and an attack operator, two of whom are highly recommended for beginner players and are two operators that are my personal favorites. And the honorable mention that we're going to bring into the video here at the end is Doc. And the reason I'm bringing Doc into this is because he has an ACOG scope on the defensive side, which is quite rare, puts you at a larger advantage, and he can also heal himself and his teammates. So let's dig in a little bit further into what Doc's all about and see what we can use him for. So as I mentioned before, Doc's special ability is the Stim Pistol, which gives him a ranged healing ability and also a revive, which means that if teammates are down, he can shoot them with his Stim Pistol and revive them, or give them a boost to heal them. You can also use this to add extra health to yourself if you want to, once you're already at 100 health, to boost a little bit more and make you a little bit tougher to down. Now as far as his loadout, he's got the SG shotgun, the MP5, and the P90. Now I'd recommend the MP5 with the ACOG scope just because it gives you such a great advantage, and as I mentioned before, the MP5 is really just a headshot machine. Some things to keep in mind with Doc as a beginner player is that Doc is incredibly slow. He is a 1 speed, but that's because it trades off for his heavy armor rating. He's got a 3 armor rating, which is great for taking a couple extra shots. Plus you've also got the Stim Pistol to help yourself and give you a little bit more boost and put you back in the fight if you're down but not out. Also keep in mind that Doc becomes more and more valuable as the rounds go on because his healing ability keeps him in the fight for longer, and also your teammates. So guys, that's it for today's video on Rainbow Six beginner operators. I hope you were able to learn something and some of the content within this kind of resonates with you. As I mentioned before in this video, you can catch me Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays on twitch.tv/MrBootyFloss to ask me any further questions or just to get to know me a little bit better. You can also always leave a comment down below and I will always get back to those. Again, thank you guys so much for your time, and as always, be good, and until next time.